Corey Cedro here with Untitled Landscape. Today we're going to talk about franchising your lawn care business. Should you franchise your business? Is it a good idea or is it a bad idea? Ultimately, that's up to you, but I thought that we could just talk briefly about the pros and cons of franchising and just bring up some talking points. So when people think about franchising, the first thing that comes to mind is McDonald's, Burger King, Subway, Taco John's, those franchises. And when a lot of people think about franchises, they think about business success, right? McDonald's is inevitably the most successful franchise in the country and probably the world. They own tons of real estate. They've been around for a long time, and that's what people think or relate to franchises. So why is McDonald's so successful? Well, they own real estate, they own their locations, they have proprietary products, their burgers, their fries. They, have basically got their processes down to a point where it has taken almost all the thought processing out of the business, right? I mean, they're basically a manufacturer of burgers and fries. So that's why they've been so successful. They've been able to duplicate. They have a product that most people want. They've branded themselves, and they figured out a process to make it cheaply and make it profitable. So that's why they've been so profitable. What about lawn care and franchising your lawn care business? So if you're thinking about franchising your lawn care business, I've talked to guys about it, and you'll hear guys say, well, I think I'm going to franchise my lawn care business. I get it. You probably had some success on your lawn care business, probably got some decent processes down, and you're thinking, well, in order for me to grow this thing, I'll franchise it. Because the number one reason why people franchise is because they want to grow their business, but they don't have the capital or the infrastructure to do so, right? So when you franchise, you're basically replicating your systems and licensing your business or your name for others to use. So the expense of multiple locations and the management of multiple locations of lawn care companies is an absolute nightmare if you're trying to do it on your own. It takes a ton of capital, equipment, investment, marketing, and for you to try to manage that and all these other locations, it's just really not that feasible. That's why you don't see a lot of multi-location businesses. So you're probably thinking, well, I'll franchise it. I've got a good system. Well, what are you going to give your franchisees, the owners of the franchise, or the franchise locations? What can you give them to give them success? Well, in lawn care and landscaping, everything's different. The biggest struggle is, one, you're completely dependent on employees. Your business is only as solid as the processes in place, but those processes have to be replicated by the individuals doing the work, right? So McDonald's is successful because they can control their environment. They've got equipment, they can control the environment, their employees. They have much more control over the environment that their employees are working on because they're all in one location. One manager can watch 7 or 8 people at once. Lawn care, you can't do that. You basically get your guys in, get them out the door, and hope that they do a good job for the day. And you don't really know there's a problem until A, they call, they're having issues, or B, the customer calls you a few days later and says, hey, these guys didn't do the right, or they might have screwed something up or wasn't up to par. So that is the challenge of regulating the quality of a lawn care business. Lawn care, every day is different. The seasons are different. Different services. You've got mowing, you've got treatments, you've got snow removal, you've got landscape maintenance, and different parts of the country have different services. So are you going to do a lot of mowing if you're selling your lawn care franchise in Phoenix? Probably not. It's a desert. Are you going to sell snow removal in the desert? Probably not. If you're in northern Minnesota where they get pounded with 60 inches of snow a year, that snow removal is going to be, sorry guys, that snow removal is going to be a big chunk of the income and the service that business, that franchise location does. So when you think about just replicating the business, it's very, very difficult to replicate. And there's a whole lot of different factors that go into the franchise. So you're basically going to give them a website, okay? You're going to give them some sort of software system to run the business, but you're going to have to go out and probably license a software system that other people are already using. It's going to be way too expensive for you to go out and develop your own software system. You're going to have to go out, find a system that other guys are probably already using. So you've got the website, you've got a software system, and then you're probably going to attach a business consultant, a business coach, a consultant to that franchisee, right? But in theory, that's about the only thing that you can really do. Sure, you can have manuals, sure, you can teach them processes, but at the end of the day, that's the only control you have. And the other thing you got to realize is your franchisees are buying this for a system, right? Well, your system's only as good as the owner and the employees doing the work. And you're not going to be finding franchisees with deep pockets. Anybody that's an investor an investor with large sums of cash looking to make money is not going to invest in a lawn care business or a lawn care franchise. They understand the logistics of it. They understand the returns of it. So when you're selling these things, you're going to be selling them to just a lot of hardworking people that want to own their own business, think that they can own their own business, or want to own this business to sell it in 3 to 5 years and make a bunch of money, which realistically does not happen. Maybe very, very few people actually achieve that. Lawn care and landscaping is a long-term play. Nobody got rich overnight in lawn care and landscaping. It is literally a grind. So you've got to find the franchisees that are willing to grind and are business-minded. And you're just not going to be able to replicate your franchise like McDonald's, like Jimmy John's, because there's nothing really proprietary about lawn care landscaping, right? It's not like you have developed the only mower in the country to do a certain type of mowing that everybody wants, and you can control that mower. Everybody uses the same trailers, everybody uses the same trucks, everybody uses the same equipment. It literally comes down to just the operators and the employees doing the work. All right, when you're franchising too, from the franchisor's point, the franchisee's point, it's completely different perspectives. So the franchisee is paying fees to license your franchise, right? So maybe you're charging anywhere from 5 to 7 to 10% of the gross revenue of the business. So if your franchisee, you're charging that to the business, there's two things that happen here. A, you're basically taking the net profit out of the business from your franchisee. And why is that? Well, that is because on average, the net profit on a landscaping business across the country is 6 to 8%. If you're taking, say, 5 to 10%, you're taking that margin from your franchisee, which will in turn make your franchisee struggle financially. So if that leads us to one other thing, then the franchisee, if you're taking those fees from them, then you are going to have to force that franchisee to pay themselves a lot less than the peers in their market. Now, why is that? Because there are not a lot of franchises, lawn care franchises, in the areas you're going to be selling to. There may be one franchise, two franchises, but there's going to be hundreds of competitors, lawn care guys that you're competing against that are not having to pay fees to a franchisor, right? And the thing about McDonald's and Burger King, all those franchises are playing on the same playing field because they're all paying fees. The fees are all priced into the money or into the cost of the food. So if every lawn care company in town were paying fees to a franchisor, then pricing would reflect that. But your franchisee's competition is not paying those fees. They're not required to pay 5, 7, 10% of the gross revenue of the business. So that's going to make that struggle. So what happens if you get a franchisee that isn't good with money, isn't good with cash, goes out and spends money that they don't need to spend, well, they can't make their franchise payment, which then in turn puts the franchisor, you the franchisor, in a very tough position financially. The franchisee gets backed up on payments, you get backed up on revenue, and it starts this snowball effect. And when you're selling to people that don't necessarily understand business or have never been in business but have a dream, they're going to make a lot of mistakes in the beginning. This isn't like a McDonald's where you just throw up a store and boom, you've got customers because you've got a location and name already. Nobody's going to know the name of your franchise. Nobody's going to think about, they're not going to drive by a location, see a lawn care business, go, oh man, I know those guys. I've seen their commercials. You're not going to have commercials. You're not going to have branding. They're not going to have that instant recognition. So the other thing that you hear sometimes is, well, my franchisees are going to be able to charge more because we'll be branded, right? We'll be national, we'll be branded. Well, the market is the judge of how much you can charge. So if none of your other competitors are charging a premium because they are franchises, then your franchisees are not going to be able to charge more for their services. You know, Joe's Landscaping versus your franchise, there's really not that much differentiation. I mean, you can get somewhat of a premium sometimes for having a better looking company, but at the end of the day, lawn care, landscaping, snow removal, it's about bottom line to a lot of your customers, and they're more price conscious than they are. A lot of them are shopping for not the cheapest service. You don't want to be the cheapest, but they're just searching for reliable service. And honestly, if your guys show up every week and take care of what they're supposed to take care of, I'm sorry, but you could probably show up in, pink shorts and pink shirts and have a great service, and they stay with you, And it's really not about the name either. Yes, there's a name in business. It does a little bit, but it doesn't do much at all from a standpoint of, they're going to call you because of your name. They're not going to know your franchise nationally yet. And since you're not known nationally, it's not going to be top of mind. One of the keys to success with your franchisees that you're selling your locations to is going to be their ability to get labor to produce work, right? So lawn care and landscaping is completely dependent on the labor force you have. If you can't find labor, you can't manage people, your franchisees are going to fail. So right now with the unemployment rate at 2.5% where I'm at, labor is very, very hard to come by. A lot of landscapers are not taking on any more work. They're literally just trying to hold on to what they have because they can't find the labor force to go grow. The only way you can grow in lawn care and landscaper is by adding more employees. And if you can't find those employees, or you can't manage employees, or your managers can't manage employees, the whole system's going to fail. So you've got to look at, when you're selling these franchise locations, you've got to look at the market. How big is the market? If you sell a franchise to a guy in the middle of Nebraska, there's not going to be enough work there for him to be successful. Pay the franchise fees, grow the business, add employees, add managers. They've got to be in a location that makes sense, where there's enough population that wants lawn care services and are willing to pay for it for them to be successful. McDonald's is not in the burger business. They're in the real estate business, right? So they are very, very successful because they own the real estate. They own high traffic areas. That's how they have become successful. It's not because they sell the most gourmet burgers. They don't. They don't sell the best fries in the country. They just understand real estate, and that's what their play is. So if you're selling these franchise locations to franchisees that are not in good locations, I mean, if you're gonna expand this franchise, you're gonna start this franchise, you're gonna have to ramp up sales, right? Because you're gonna make money off two things: territory and fees. And as soon as you sell a franchise, you got to start collecting fees. But your franchisee has to be able to sell and grow the business very quickly in order to get those fees, right? So there's a lot of challenges to lawn care franchises. I don't know if it's right for you, but these are some of the issues, or I should say challenges, to franchising your lawn care system. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to leave comments below and hit that subscribe button.